Welcome to Every Album Member with Mike and Alex. My name is Michael Mansour, and I'm joined as always by my lovely, wonderful co-host Alexander Volz. Say hello.
Hello.
This is Every Album Member, the podcast where we listen to every single album in the world, one artist at a time. It's a new discography, more or less, per episode. And today we are discussing
Bullet Club for life. No, I'm kidding. I got my wrestling reference in the way. We're talking about the band, the Gun Club.
Which wrestler was that?
Bullet Club was like Young Bucks, Kenny Omega.
Oh, modern, more modern.
Yeah, they heavily inspired by the NWO, which is where they get the for life.
Too sweet. Anyway, now that we got our fucking nerdiness out of the way, if you want to help us or subscribe or whatever, you can do that. You can subscribe on YouTube, youtube.com/everyalbumever, Apple Podcast, Spotify, wherever you would like. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you do that at Pope Jesse Ventura and Alex at
Mother Puncture.
If you want to stay up to date with the artists that we're currently covering, I'll be posting stories and all that regarding that. And if you want to email us any thoughts, suggestions for artists, hate, love, etc., send everything you want to everyalbumever@gmail.com. And like every other episode, there will be a Spotify playlist on the Gun Club, not Gun Cup, in the description of wherever you're listening or watching. There's a playlist associated with every single damn episode. So you can go to everyalbumever.com for all that, or follow Alex on Spotify. Want to cut out the middleman? It's all good stuff. Yada, yada, yada.
And this was requested, right?
We're talking about the Gun Club today. This is requested by Andrea. Thank you for this suggestion. Apparently, a very beloved band that I don't know how I never listened to.
I also never listened to, but real quick, while we're talking about, the emails and stuff, I forgot to do it last week. I just wanted to give a shout out to Randy, who I haven't seen or talked to in forever, and he let me know he listens. So
that's very sweet.
So yes, I always appreciate these random people. Like, I already listened to it, dude. So thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you everybody for the support and all that. It's very sweet. I love getting nice emails, and I love getting bad emails because I don't know. I don't really like getting bad emails, but I just said that. But
yeah, I've never listened to this band either. Completely cold. Haven't even heard one song before this.
Yes, same. And it's for you. You were not a very punk. You're not a punk dude. You didn't have that background. So
yeah,
I have no excuse. I have no idea why I never encountered them.
Well, I feel like they start off as a punk band, but then they very quickly,
like within one album, but still they're very associated. And I watched the documentary on Jeffrey Lee Pierce, the main dude,
nice,
and the Gun Club, and everybody interviewed in the doc was like, yeah, I know these people from the punk scene. Like, not personally, whatever. I'm a little boy, but like I should know them. I do now though.
I will say, I thought like the closest we were gonna get like proximity to like a local band was Van Halen from Pasadena. Mr. Jeffrey Lee Pierce, born in Montebello, spent some time in El Monte before hiking up to the valley.
Dude, I saw that he was born in Montebello. Montebello is the neighboring city to where we are currently recording this.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in and out of Montebello my entire life, and it's like, oh, what? And he has like such a Jeffrey Lee Pierce. So before we dive into the backstory, like a quick general thing about the Gun Club, beloved band.
Yes,
I think they're a great band with the worst vocalist of all time.
It gets bad later on,
really bad. And Jeffrey Lee Pierce is obviously the singer and periodic guitar. Well, he records guitar on all the albums, but periodic live guitarist, main songwriter. Main dude. I hate this guy as a human being. And like
he kind of comes across like a douchey rocker.
Did you see the doc?
No, I didn't.
It's so much worse than that. So much worse than that. This guy is a real piece of shit. He was like just everything I hate in a human being. And he not only did he personify and embody like the same attitudes of people that I grew up around because of literally like a lot of those types of people grew up in this area. Really, blown up ego.
Very into himself,
extremely into himself, but with zero self-esteem. So like you kind of project your ego because you don't really like yourself that much. There's a lot of that in this community. I'm very familiar with myself and people that I am close to. And then
what's that shitty rock and roll club? Closer to John's house.
It's not right now. It's just a bar. It's back to being Rudy's bar.
Okay, it doesn't deserve to be name dropped, but they'd hang out at that place.
They would, yeah. Essentially, it's like a really trashy dive bar, but like, or like a Venice room type situation. Like really, that's more old though. That's like older.
Yeah, Venice room's older people, more blue collar. Yeah. This was like specifically going after the rock and roll crowd.
Yeah, like we're throwing out these really local references, but they're trashy. Trust us.
That's just the point.
Yeah,
they're trashy.
It's like this, inflated ego that's totally, completely exacerbated by his mom, who's like a Latina, very overbearing mother, very much like you're a king. Like that's a very prominent thing that I grew up around, seeing Latin mothers not just babying the sons and shitting on the daughters, but like building up the sons as fucking emperors, like giving them like, no, you're the greatest, you're the best, you're the best of everything.
I'm half joking, half serious. Is that why they're called the Latin kings?
That's funny, possibly. I don't know, but so. Like learning about this guy, he's clearly a damaged dude who didn't have a lot of good abilities, but was really smart and a really talented writer, really talented songwriter. Couldn't sing. Like, and here's I'm talking a lot here, sorry, but when I was listening to the albums and I'm hearing like, oh, he can't sing at all, and then it keeps going on, and I keep hearing about the legacy of this dude. I'm like, am I fucking crazy? Is the world gaslighting me? He's awful. He can't hit any of the right notes, and he's wailing like he's a legendary blues singer, but he's fucking missing every note. Yeah. And I'm losing my mind here. I'm legit kind of like, hold on. So I put on the doc, and in the first scene, I forgot what band he's in. Dickie Barrett. I think his name's Dickie Barrett. 103, Indie 103, back when that was a radio station. I think it's Dickie Barrett. Please Google that for me if you can. He's interviewing the main drummer and one of the recurring guitarists. And he said, do you think Jeffrey was a good singer? And without missing a beat, they're like, no, he couldn't hit the right notes and he had bad time. I'm like, oh, thank Christ. Great. Okay. They know. Okay. I'm not crazy. People like him for many reasons. But you can't say that he's a good singer. You cannot say he's a good singer.
No. I think people like him for the, also Dickie Barrett is, Mighty Mighty Boston.
There it is. I feel like an asshole for not remembering that. But yeah, go on.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, I think people like this band for the style and his guitar playing more than anything else. I started off really interested, and then I got bored, and that like. It didn't really like piss me off or annoying. I just got like, okay,
it's one of those things I've made the same statement to King Diamond, although I think King Diamond is much better than Jeffrey Lee Pierce. Mark my words. All right. It's like a thing where his voice, it's a thing you just got to accept. It's not going to change. It's not going to get any better. It's okay if you don't like it. You can move on if you like, but there is something to have here. Just accept his fucking voice.
Yeah. There are times where he kind of reminds me of Alan Vega from Suicide, but he doesn't. The difference is Alan Vega knows he's a weirdo.
Yeah.
And Jeffrey Lee Pierce thinks he's
Elvis.
Yeah, he thinks he's Jim Morrison or whatever. Yeah. So
I stole that thinks he's Elvis line from one of the members of the band at some point.
But,
like he literally really believed that, and his family like told him that, like, no, you're as good as Elvis. Like
I believe that, just seeing pictures of the dude.
Yeah, he looks not only like a lot of people that I went to school with, like just the chubby, half Mexican guy. I'm a half Mexican too, so I can say that. But like he looks, his face, everything about his pudginess, his whole face is someone I literally went to high school with. Like I fucking know this guy. His name is Omar. Like he looks so much like people I grew up around. It's like that guy. Holy shit! Like I would never.
He reminds me a lot of a annoying gentleman who wore a bolo tie and Dylan and John almost got in a fight with, and that's why we're friends.
He reminds
me of that guy.
He literally wore like Jeffrey Lee Pierce literally wore a bolo tie. And
this guy,
like that. He literally dressed like that.
This guy probably worships
Oh, we're throwing all these really vague references of people we know, but like
just to paint the picture, like we know this guy.
Yeah, we know his essence so well, and it's another thing that kept coming up in the doc. Like I want to get out of the way now because it has nothing to do with the music. It's just a sad ripple that this guy had. He was known by everyone as basically a fucking simp, as the sad dude who would fall in love with a girl who didn't care about him at all, and he'd just become obsessed with her
and put him in the band. Yeah, and then they're not in the band.
Exactly.
And that's I think we'll talk about one other member, but then the rest are just in and out so quick.
Yeah,
it doesn't mean anything unless you're like super familiar with the band or these weird bands that they go on to be in.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think we talked about King Congo Powers in like the birthday party episode a little bit.
Yeah, that dude. Well, I barely remember us bringing him up because when I was learning about this guy, I was like, oh, holy shit, he played on Tender Prey, Nick Cave's, one of Nick Cave's, in my opinion, best albums.
Yeah,
like,
he plays on a few Nick Cave albums.
Yeah, The Good Son as well. I think it was just those two, maybe. But
even he's not like he's in and out of the band a lot too.
Yeah, he's considered like a classic member of the band. He's technically a founding member, but he was in and out. He was in the Cramps. He's like a respected dude, and I was like, how do I not know this guy? But
also. This is one of those instances where I feel like we've talked about so many bands we could play like 6 Degrees from. Tie that into White Zombie, where what's her face ended up playing in the Cramps.
Oh, Shiny Soul.
Yeah. So yeah,
well, yeah, she was in the Cramps later on. Right?
Yeah, so like you can connect White Zombie and the Gun Club.
The inbreeding between all these weird alty bands coming up in the late 80s and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, technically Gun Club was much earlier, but fascinating guy because it's like I hate him as a guy, and apparently he was just the most volatile asshole. He pushed everyone away. Everyone hated him so because he was a fucking ass. Like he was like a noted asshole to everyone. I think one of the members said that like these really sweet people would like let them stay there, while touring and stuff, and like let them stay in their house. And he would just rack up like $700 phone bills across these. Just be just a complete asshole for no reason. And he really romanticized being a drug addict, and he achieved that dream.
Yes.
And what the fuck else? Like, there's just so many things about this dude that like I really, really hate. But you gotta give him credit. Like, he's a good songwriter, and apparently, like, he's like a really good lyricist. He's got things to offer. He did what he was made to do, except he still kind of fucking sucked. But was like, it's still good. I just wish he wasn't singing. I really wish he wasn't singing.
Yeah, when you kind of like alienate everyone, it defeats the purpose of.
Yeah. Another thing that I thought was funny about his character or lack thereof was apparently he was like a big old coward. Oh,
I could see that,
dude. And once again, I knew people like this who did this.
Yeah, talks the talk, doesn't walk the walk.
Talks the talk, as in, hey, fuck you, pussy, and then he runs away.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'm like giving out too many things, but one member, it was a guitar player. It was how he left the band. He had overheard, I think maybe one of the managers, not the managers, but like one of the people on tour with them, not part of the band, said, hey, Jeff is, he's leaving the tour. It was like a few days left of the tour, like 3 or 4 shows left of the tour. And the guy said to the guitar player, oh yeah, he's leaving. He's packing his stuff right now. He secretly bought a plane ticket for tomorrow morning. He's leaving. So the guitar player went to his room and said, hey, fuck you. You're not fucking leaving us here. You're finishing the tour.
Yeah.
And he finished the tour. And then he's like, that was the last time I ever played with him. Like,
wow.
Slimy dude.
No, and that guitar player, it's not even really his response. It's not his band.
No, but like follow whatever.
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever. He still had things that I liked about him. I do think I would maybe have punched him in the face if I ever met him. Luckily, he's dead now. But not literally, luckily. But
our friend Dylan knows a real nice sleeper hold. He won't feel anything.
There it is. Yeah.
Just put a real nice.
dude, jiu-jitsu is amazing. You can win the fight without actually hurting anybody. Okay. I mean, you could break someone's arm, but like just choke them out. But we should probably get into more of the history. Tell me what you know.
I feel like you covered a lot more than I did. You said you were watching the documentary, which I was relieved because I really didn't like find that much. Like for some reason, their wiki's pretty barren. I might have gone a little more, but you say you were watching the documentary. I'm like, Mike's got this. But yeah, you know, we covered up local San Gabriel Valley boy. And yeah, him and Kid Congo Powers. It's a
wacky stage name.
Tongue twister of a name. They kind of like formed this band. I believe they were like in a Blondie fan club. Yeah,
there were Jeffrey was really obsessed with Blondie, and like for pure reasons, from what I heard, like he was just a legit fan of that style, that whole aesthetic that she had on stage and the band. And he really loved her. I don't know if he was like full on like, you know, I'm putting like covering my wall with your face kind of thing. I don't think it was like that kind of thing. I think it was pretty genuine. But he was really into that. I think neither of them knew how to play guitar at all, so he just taught Kid with like open tuning kind of stuff. And obviously a big blues guy. He was a writer for Slash.
I did also read he was like really into reggae.
Yeah,
and he thought like reggae was the future.
Yeah.
But this idiot like went to Jamaica and
I forgot about that.
And try to be like one of the locals, and then this fucking beat him. Who's this fucking white? Yeah, because he looks white.
Yeah, and plus he's a little pudgy white kid. I mean, he's like whatever. But that's so funny. I forgot that he went to Jamaica for a while and like learned immediately, like, oh, you can't just go to a place like that and just integrate. Like, who the fuck do you think you are? Like, it's a gnarly country, man. It's not just reggae, but he would write exclusively reggae reviews, I think, for
a while.
I don't know. I don't know if it was for Slash, but it was for stuff. And there's a lot of interesting stories about that. But it seemed like just the making of the first record and it being released through Slash Records was like a total luck, accidental thing. Like he got really fucking lucky. And then, we'll get into it. So altogether, the Gun Club had, I believe, 7 albums and 1 EP that we'll be talking about. Hold on, did I miscount that? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 7 albums, 1 EP. First album, 1981. Last album, 1993. Like we said, litany of lineup changes. But I guess let's start.
Let's do it.
This is 1981's Fire of Love.
I'm really glad you put this album cover up instead of the one they have
on streaming. It's a different cover on streaming.
Like the one on streaming's okay, but this is like
way harsher. It's way like better. Like,
it's so weird.
It's super weird. It's kind of creepy. I like it a lot.
Yeah, like that's something I would just like stare at and maybe this buy based on the cover.
The cover on streaming, funny enough, looks like a white zombie cover.
It does. Yeah. It kind of just looks like promo material for The Walking Dead.
Yeah.
But the music.
Yeah, I like this song a whole lot.
I think it's okay. I know this is like one of their bigger songs, but I was just like, it's a solid, like...
Dude, it's totally X. Like, that's what
I was going to say that. This album is kind of like... Because X came out around the same time.
Yeah, they were a little earlier, but they you know...
Yeah, they're kind of like kind of sound like the love child of X and the Birthday Party, this album.
A little weird, yeah. So let's do a little talking.
So this is best personal favorite.
And it's not even
twinsies.
Yeah. It's no contest. And like, I'm not going to discredit the rest of the discography. Okay?
No.
But I will say, this is the only album I like Jeffrey on. The only album.
This, to me, going in completely cold, this album felt like sky is the limit. I can I can envision all these different pathways the band can go down, how they can change. And it was just so much more interesting in my head.
Yeah.
I think it's the most diverse album. Because after this, they kind of fall into some trends.
Yeah.
And like normally I don't even like rockabilly or psychobilly, whatever you want to call it. But on here, I'm like, those are fun songs.
It's very interesting. Like this is, so I guess a lot of people call this like blues punk or something like that.
Yeah.
It's very much that. It's not a punk guy's trying to make blues. It's just punk heavily inspired by blues. It feels like a hybrid. The way Los Angeles by X sounds like a hybrid of rockabilly and rock and roll with punk.
They're almost like cousin albums in a sense.
Exactly. Not nearly as technically proficient as an X, but even the production gives you that vibe. And I think they're both released in Slash, which is kind of like, I'm sure it's not a coincidence, but like damn near every song on here except for Jack on Fire, in my opinion, is like a fucking winner. I really like this album.
Yeah. This is, I don't like vocalize it too much, but I think a good exercise to do these days, because everything's available at your fingertips, is to think, if I had to pay money, like $15, $20, whatever.
Yeah.
Would you do it? And this album, yes, I would.
So that's funny how we have to differentiate or distinguish that now because of streaming. We're so fucking spoiled.
Yes.
And I love it. Believe me. I love it.
No, I'm not complaining.
But that's what it was when we were younger and when everyone, older people were, their whole lives. It was like, I don't know. I only got this much money. Am I going to take a chance on this?
Yeah.
And that's a really, I guess that's a pretty good perspective to have for a podcast like this, because
or really anyone, if you're kind of like debating, do I like this? Do I not like it? Would you spend, $20 on it?
For sure. Yeah.
And if you say no, I don't think you like the album that much.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
So I think it's a good mental exercise for anyone to do.
I think I'm going to hijack that and keep that with the rest of my life.
That's why I'm saying it.
Hell yeah. For sure. This is a really good album. Go ahead.
So yeah, it feels more like garage rock than straight up punk.
Yeah.
And
it's not that fast at all. I mean, it's fast, but it's not, it's not 81 fast.
It's also very interesting because I listened to it and then I read about it, and then finding out Jack White really likes this album, and you can hear,
not surprising at all, even the vocal styles.
Yes, you can hear like the like some White Stripes stuff in here, like for the Love of Ivy is and I even think they
so good.
Yeah, I think they cover it even. So really like interesting stuff. The Preaching the Blues.
Oh yeah,
is a Robert Johnson cover.
Yeah.
And,
incredible though.
And yeah, if you listen to our Cream episode, you know how much we like people doing blues music, but it
fucking works, dude. Yeah, it's great.
They take it and twist it, and they throw in some of the the rockabilly elements, but it's more like the punk mentality, the way like X or Dead Kennedys do it. And it's just
very thrashy, and not metal thrashy, punk thrashy.
Yeah.
So Preaching the Blues and For the Love of Ivy, both of those are the funnest examples of that. Really, the song Shout, where it goes super loud and then goes super quiet. But it's still fast, but it just kind of builds up and it's real quiet and gets louder and louder and louder and then goes loud again and then it gets real quiet.
Yeah.
Like, it's just so fucking fun. I love that.
I will say they try to do that on Cool Drink of Water, and that one doesn't hit.
I love that song.
I'll go back to it.
It's not the presentation so much. It's that riff alone. That main riff, just, put on a little bit of Cool Drink of Water. It's just that main riff I fucking love.
I will, to refresh my memory and the listeners.
It's who's it originally by? Is it a traditional song?
Let me do that while the song is.
Oh, I love that guitar line. Oh,
it is a traditional.
Yeah. It's just swampy enough for me. It's very swampy. Mm-hmm. I would listen to this in a beat up pickup truck driving down the highway. I would love that.
You throw this on after some CCR.
Goddamn right. I love this.
And yeah, that's what makes the album great. Like, I name dropped all these like wildly different bands.
Yeah.
It's all very much at home here. And And I know Pierce doesn't even like this album. He claims he was like in a drug haze and doesn't even remember recording most of it.
That guy's drug use, my goodness.
I'm like, that's on you. That doesn't make it a shitty album because you don't remember.
I don't give a fuck if you don't remember. Like, one thing about his drug use, one member in the doc, of course I'm forgetting who, said like he wanted to be a drug addict. Like he wanted to be that druggy guy. It's not that he really was.
There are people like that. Like you said, they romanticize it. They like idolize, all these like dead rock stars, which like they're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
You can appreciate the musicianship, but as people, they were very, very damaged.
That's one funny thing about this guy, because we keep shitting on his legacy because he's like a really slimy dude who is undoubtedly who's undoubtedly talented. But one other thing they said was like how much of a fucking lightweight he was. Like he would drink 2 beers and then turn into a complete asshole on everybody.
Again, I know this dude.
I know him too, exactly.
Yeah.
And so he was like that. He would just turn to a big old shithead. And he didn't play drums on this album, but he played drums later on. His name was
Wasn't that like another thing with the band lineups? Is like some people would like start off on one instrument and then end up playing a different instrument, and it's just wildly inconsistent.
It's pretty inconsistent. I'm trying to find the guy's name. Of course, I'm fucking. What's his name? Come on, give me something. Fuck. I'll look it up in a second. But
none for you.
Yeah. So one of the drummers. Holy shit, Blixa Bargeld played on some of their stuff too. I didn't know that.
See, I don't know who that. I'm reading these names and they list like what bands they're in. I have no.
Blixa, you know Blixa? No. I don't know how to pronounce him properly. He's a German guy. He first of all he got most of his fame from playing with Nick Cave, the Bad Seeds.
Okay.
But he found him from. I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce the name of the band. It's too fucking German.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna spell it because they're really important German band.
It's not fun to say like Rucksucker.
No, yeah, it's not. It's not fun. Or Der Puppenfarten, but it's EINSTURZENDE. That's the first word, and the second word
mouthful.
Is NEUBAUTN. Yeah, I'm not going to try to pronounce that, but they do have some really good stuff. He's a very important alt rock guitar player. But anyway, getting sidetracked. So the drummer, whoever the fuck it was, I'll find out his name soon. He was that guy. He was I can drink all night, be cool. I can do all the drugs, be cool, because that's just what I do.
Mm-hmm.
And Jeffrey Lee really wanted to be that guy.
Yeah.
And he was just he couldn't handle his shit, apparently.
Knowing your limits is so much cooler than trying to be someone.
Being yourself is the coolest thing. I mean, that sounds like a fucking after school special. I'm sorry, but god damn it, dude.
Yeah.
Be comfortable in your own skin. Although easier said than done, I suppose. But what the hell am I talking about?
This album.
Yeah.
Great.
So what Jeffrey is doing on here vocally is very much a super punk rock, singing kind of, I'll shout every now and then. It's not really any melody. It's just sort of a punky thing over it. Just
and it works in the he can get away with it in a punk genre.
It was not only was it fine, I was like, yeah, he's a weak voice, but it fits fine. And then I couldn't even tell that he's tone deaf. Couldn't tell.
That's really?
Because he's not even doing anything he's not doing anything that would warrant that analysis until the final track. Goodbye, Johnny. My goodness. I was like, oh, okay. He can't sing. He's trying to sing here. He can't do it. Now I know. But here's the thing with his voice and his pitchiness. It took me a few albums to really figure out, is he trying to sing off key on purpose or can he not do it? And I'll get to it when we get to it. But later on, I was like, oh, and here's the moment where I know he can't do it. Yeah, he just can't do it. But here, very good album.
Yes, I'm sure the drugs don't help.
No, there's no. Fuck no, God no. But both of our best and personal favorites. I don't think it's very controversial. It's a very pretty beloved album.
It might be.
I guess probably. I mean, anything can be controversial if we're shooting at someone who's kind of beloved like that.
Kind of like a cult figure in music.
Yeah, but whatever. It's the game we're playing. So on to 1982's Miami. Sorry, it's my fault.
Oh, should I restart?
Yeah, sorry, that's my fault.
Yeah. Okay, I was like, what did I
Come down to the little garden with me. Come go with
So, right off the bat, very different.
Oh, yeah. He's trying to sing.
Though I howl across tears and my eyes turn gray, are yours still the same?
Good Lord. I like this song, man, but fuck, man, his voice is...
Carry home.
This is like feels more straightforward, this particular song.
Yeah.
So many highs.
He's still hitting every wrong note you can imagine, but those are good chord changes. This is a good song.
Yet it never survived the heat of my hand.
I think another good tone this sets is this is way less druggy than the previous album.
Oh, is it?
Well, like
Just in terms of
I'm using
sound, or
I'm using druggy and like to describe like the music.
Okay,
You listen to it and it's kind of like, like you're this kind of walking through quicksand and
gotcha.
This one not so much. This one is a little more romanticized, a little sexier.
Yep.
This is the other one people really like a lot.
And I do like this one a lot, despite his fucking voice, man. Like I was so confused and baffled and kind of hurt by how bad of a singer he was, because like I want to hear this more, but I can't get over that. And one thing about this, it's where the first one had like a ton of blues influence. This one to me, it sounds a lot more country western.
Yeah, there's elements of it. Like, let me see. Sorry, because I got them written down. Texas Serenade.
Mm-hmm.
You get like really like full blown country guitars.
Yeah, you get the lap steels in there. I think it sounds awesome.
It does. And then later on towards the end, another big song, there's Mother of the Earth.
Ooh.
Where like the Texas Serenade had the guitars. Mother of the Earth like really embraces the country aspect.
I think it's a damn good song.
Yeah. And very weirdly, Billy Idol said that White Wedding was like trying to replicate Mother of Earth, and like they sound nothing alike.
Put on that song just to show how not alike they sound.
Yeah, if anyone hears this and you think, oh, that sounds like White Wedding, like
you're on all the same drugs Billy Idol was.
Yeah.
This is not White Wedding, but I like it.
Yeah.
There's just great chord changes. Very cool chord changes.
Very better production, obviously.
I'm going down the river of sadness.
Yeah, I don't know how he heard this and thought it's a nice day for maybe the singing. I don't.
At least Billy Idol can hit the right fucking notes. Man. So the little bit of backstory on this album that I know is that I think this is mostly the same lineup as the first album, but the first album got some pretty good press. So I think
as it should have.
Yeah, like on the East Coast, it kind of got some notoriety, and then I think Rolling Stone wrote a thing on it, like praising it, and now all of a sudden Jeffrey Lee Pierce was on the cover of some alt rock magazine, and I think according to band members, it went to his head immediately, like within seconds, it went to his head.
Also, I don't know if the label did it or the band did, but they like moved out to New York.
Yeah.
For this, and I'm sure that
they were more popular over there.
Yeah.
So that happened, and because it went to his head so much, it wasn't so much the band getting notoriety as much as it was he felt it was him getting notoriety.
Yeah.
So he's like, I don't fucking need you guys. Like he started shitting on the band and he started dismissing them and like downplaying all of their contributions. So after this, pretty much like everyone left. Like everyone left. He had to replace the entire band.
Yeah.
And
I think one of the dudes who recorded on here didn't even make the album cover.
Really?
Yeah, like there's there's only 3 of them.
It was the bass player. I believe. Yeah. I forget his name. I will find out within seconds. The bass player was Rob Ritter.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that because that's really first of all super shitty. Especially if you recorded on it, which you did.
Mm-hmm.
But it's also it makes complete sense when you know that and then listen to the album because all of a sudden he's singing like he's this blues guy with a good voice when he's fucking absolutely not. And you hear like, oh yeah, this guy he really believes that he can do all this stuff and he doesn't give a fuck what anybody thinks, which you kind of got to admire in some regard, like the confidence and also like the fortitude and the willpower, like, no one's gonna hold me down. But also you have to shit on the lack of self-awareness. You have to shit on that. Like if you know that you sound like shit, then you wouldn't do that if you were any kind of a good person. I don't know.
What'd you think of his vocal performance on Devil in the Woods?
No, it's not ringing a bell.
All right. I don't have a timestamp, so I'm just going to kind of play it and see what happens.
Sure.
I thought it was kind of interesting. It's like it's more like Lou Reed.
Yeah.
He's ever.
I can't get down.
Like I like that more than him trying to go. So look at
those
awful,
parts,
dude. So he's trying to yodel like a fucking country western singer.
I'm not saying they're good. I'm saying it's
entertaining.
Like, yes.
Yeah, like that could pass off as an experimental alt rock, David Yao kind of fucking wackiness.
Mm-hmm.
You could pass off if you're trying to go crazy. It's when you can totally tell he's playing it straight, trying to wail. And the weird thing about his voice is with each album, and it's especially obvious if you compare this album to the last album, he learned how to use proper technique and form and how to have good vibratos and how to use his fucking stomach to sing. Like he learned how to sing properly, but he doesn't have pitch.
Mm-hmm.
So it doesn't matter if you have good form or technique. If you can't hit the notes, it's the weirdest thing. Like hearing this really good form, but just sounding like shit still.
Just messing up the landing.
Yeah. It's a really weird thing. I would say he's the worst singer that we've covered on the podcast. And it's just so bizarre. Like, how infrequent it is when you really think about it. Because we covered, this is episode 59, man. And
it's been a long time.
Yeah. And the only other person who really couldn't hit the right notes was Ian Curtis from Joy Division. And even he sounds infinitely better.
Yeah. Yeah. He found a way around it.
Yeah. That was like a lot more style where this guy just kept like throwing his body against a wall, trying to do this style that he wasn't born to do, which sounds like I'm trying to put him in a corner, but like, I mean, if you don't have pitch, I'm sorry, but you're not going to hit the right notes.
Yeah.
But also can't move on from it. Covering Run Through the Jungle.
Run Through the Jungle. I was a little worried, but I think it serves its purpose as being different enough to listen to. I compared them to CCR earlier,
right.
So it makes a lot of sense. He couldn't understand the words, so he just kind of wrote some of his own lyrics in here.
That's pretty. I appreciate that. I don't think he's no John Fogerty.
No one is.
He's no John Fogerty.
No one is.
I could do without the cover. Like I like every song as its own. Like it doesn't feel that necessary. It's in the beginning of the album, so it kind of ruins the pacing for me.
I think there are songs I don't feel as strongly about, but maybe like I'll give this a few more listens and feel better about it. But I like Calling Up Thunder.
Mm-hmm.
The riffs sound like that, like Southern. I think this like the standard like Dixie song, like the fucking Dukes of Hazzard horn. Okay. Yeah.
kind of know what you're saying.
Yeah, that was awful. But yeah, it's like this old Southern thing with the wall of noise that the gun club can do.
That's a cool song. I was trying so hard to overlook his vocals, and they're particularly bad in that song. They're really bad in that song. But I did like it otherwise.
The other song I like is Watermelon Man.
I was waiting for you to say that
because it's druggy. It's the most psychedelic thing.
The most druggy. It's probably the most psychedelic song we've ever done.
Yeah. Deborah Harry is on backup vocals, and his performance reminds me of another gentleman who can't sing, but Damos Suzuki from Can.
Ooh, Damos Suzuki. Damos Suzuki, first of all, he's oddly enough the best Can singer. But
well, you only got two options, really, right?
Better of the two. But he still hit the right notes.
Yeah.
Damo Suzuki, in all his madness, in his probably literal mental illness, he still hit the right notes.
We'll get to him
one dude. Oh, I mean, they're up for grabs. Can is up for grabs. We will talk about Can.
But this is very kind of like a moody, like
yeah,
I'm better than you. That type of album. And then so when you get a song like Run Through the Jungle or Bad Indian, it provides some much needed energy.
Okay, all right.
That is lacking in the album.
Yeah, one thing we didn't mention too much. Man, I'm surprised how fleshed out we're getting with this band, which is probably a good thing. Their implementation of just slide guitar generally, it's just weird, nice little texture that I think was like, it's got to be one of the most underused things in all of punk. It's like
slide guitar,
a really solid slide guitar. It's great on here. It's great on the first album. It's great whenever it comes up. But that's one thing I really took with me from this band generally.
Interesting.
Yeah, but solid album. He's starting to sing now.
And there's pretty much the first album or this album. Those seem to be universally loved.
Yeah.
Now we're
time to get into the nitty gritty.
Yes. Come Run With Us Through the Jungle.
Yeah. This is all right. 1983's Death Party.
Not to be confused with their live album, also called
Death Party. So fucking annoying. This is the EP Death Party. And on streaming, there's no distinguishing it.
No, this is the one with the cover that doesn't look like it's the like Beetlejuice. The one that looks like it's Beetlejuice is the live one.
All right. I wish I knew what it looked like now. I'm Googling it.
Look it up.
When you go underground, there is no fire in your glass. There is no feeling when you're done.
Oh yeah, he looks like Beetlejuice. That's hilarious. He really does.
So this song, it's okay.
I like this song. It's not bad.
This was, he set up recording time for his girlfriend's band at the.
You mean Tex?
Yes.
I don't think it was his girlfriend.
He may have just been simping on her then.
I'm pretty sure he was simping on her. So let's talk a little bit about that. The band was Tex and the... What the fuck are they called? I'm going to Google that as we speak because I'm doing a lot of Googling. And Tex and the Horseheads. And the main girl, Tex, she's not a musician.
On Wikipedia, she is listed as his girlfriend.
In the doc...
She might not have been.
She was. I don't think she was. Everyone was like, I think they were maybe. And then everyone's like, you know what? Honestly, I don't know. I don't think so.
Also, yeah, the gun club's Wikipedia is one of the worst. Yeah. Oh, my bad. One of the worst Wikipedias ever.
Yeah. So this girl, she wasn't a musician. She had quite a very artsy and musician looking aesthetic. She had the big old teased hair, wore the leather, and
straight up his alley.
Exactly. He had a type. And he was madly in love with her, and he pushed her onto everything. He formed the band for her.
Yeah.
So he did all that. And fuck, I lost my train of thought. I think after with it, basically every girl after that ended up looking like her. which is like this really creepy kind of. I don't know. I mean,
I'm not sure if she was his girlfriend or not. Romy.
Yeah, Romy Mori.
Because
she was his girlfriend for sure.
Okay, because she he has a type, but it doesn't discriminate against race at least. So
they're all different races, but just dressed exactly the same. The same hair. It's like it's fucking hilarious.
It's like someone did create a character and this swapped out. Anyways, the lead up to this is he scheduled recording time for her and it didn't happen.
Yeah,
and they were like, "Well, we got this studio available and she's not using it, and this is all very thrown together."
Yeah, they weren't even written before.
Yeah, and it fucking feels like it. I almost gave this a bad accolade.
Really?
But it's over so fast.
It's pretty short, yeah.
Yeah, like maybe people like songs on here, like Mike likes the first one. So what it kind of fell into. In the scheme of things, it fell into no harm, no foul.
It's exactly that. No harm, no foul. I like this EP just fine. I think the title track is pretty rough. The weakest one by far. Also, I mentioned him a long time ago. That drummer, the druggy drummer, who he kind of like wanted to be like. Yeah. His name was D-Pop, and he played on this one.
Fucking D-Pop.
That guy,
the only one he played on, right?
I think so. Yeah. So that guy was awesome. Looking at this dude talk, he looks like Peter Lorre. Sorry, that's a fucking old reference, but he had one eye kind of like wandering, and like he looked like he spent his whole life doing drugs because he did. And that guy, just hearing him talk is like, man, this guy was the coolest dude ever. I could see why if Jeffrey wanted to be just like him, he wanted to be him. And yeah, I'm surprised he was only on one EP, but
I think the best song, most fun song on here is Comeback Jim.
Oh yeah, it's like a cowpunk. Very fun. Very fun.
Everything else I could do without on the streaming version. They tacked on a bunch of live tracks.
Skipped all that bullshit.
I was going to skip it, but I saw something interesting and I said, I'm going to listen to one.
What's that?
I'm going to listen to the Strange Fruit cover because I think that's, obviously one of the best, like Nina Simone cover or song. Sorry. She's the original artist. Right. And like, I think it's this like a great song. I want to see the Gun Club version of it or hear the Gun Club. And it's just fucking improv noise stuff with the lyrics of Strange Fruit over it.
Okay. No. I got you.
And yeah, like, it's like, that's not like the spirit of the song. Obviously I want something different, but if you're just going to play noise and say the lyrics over it.
That's one thing that this dude did quite a bit. He made it a habit to enrage his audience. And I mean, people around him, I guess, as well. Like at one point, he bought like these old ass, I think it was a saxophone and a trumpet, and he would just make the most cacophonous sounds like in everyday life just to piss people off. And then he would bring it on stage and start fucking with that. Like, like as soon as they started to come around to the band and they're there to see his band, he would bring that shit on and just piss everyone off. Like, I think that's hilarious. I think I'm 100% in favor of that, but not if I'm in the room. I totally get hating the motherfucker if you're in the room.
It depends on the band. Like, or if it was for like one song, fine. Yeah. Fine. One song will do that. Yeah. But
you could also do novel, ridiculous, funny shit like that while still being entertaining. Like the Butthole Surfers, which we like I mentioned on that episode, the fucking bass player coming out with a full tuba and playing along to the song on a tuba. Like, that's fucking hilarious.
Yeah. I was going to say, and we like some noisy stuff. Yeah. So it's like, we're not opposed to it, but this is obviously like, there's no reason, like there's no motive behind it other than
it's just to be antagonistic. Yeah. And like I said, I love that on paper. I think it's very funny. Don't want to be in the room with it. But
I may or may not want to be in the room depending on the band. Probably not this band.
Yeah. So not the most essential release ever, but it's okay. It's not bad. But we're on to the next one, which is I think pretty pretty big, very drastic lineup change, I believe, sort of. But anyway, I'm rambling. This is 1984's The Las Vegas Story.
The return of Kid Congo Powers.
The Almighty.
The Almighty.
That guy really reminds me of Pat Smear.
Yeah. Also, this looks kind of like a weird, like if you saw him on the street, you wouldn't be like, oh, you play music.
He's another guy that I went to school with for sure.
Yeah.
Like I knew a lot of guys who looked like him and talked like him.
Great.
So that's some like fun drumming right now.
Yeah. So original drummer Terry Graham is back. There was a lot of words that guy says about the band.
Yeah.
That guy is real interesting, real funny. That dude put up with some shit.
So the drumming's fun, but I think it's kind of like,
This is a weak as shit opener.
because it goes on like this for 4 minutes, and it's just like,
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I'm like, maybe you have something interesting to say later on, but I'm not excited.
Right. Yeah, this is a trend that I'd say sticks with most of their albums, especially as they go on. Not good openers. They're not good at opening an album.
No, this feels like they are like, okay, Miami is like, that's the sound we want going forward. And this kind of feels like, a sequel to Miami. It's named after another sleazy place, Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
It's this overall kind of stagnant to me. There's some cool stuff here and there, but
I liked it. But it's like, I feel this way about a lot. I mean, this was actually a really hard band for me to give awards to because I like them all, but I hate them all for mostly the same reason.
Yeah.
Because he's just becoming more and more unbearable and more confident with his awful voice. So
it was real easy for me to give.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So this album is where it hit me. Like, oh, he's not doing anything on purpose. He just sucks.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a bonus track. It's Secret Fires. It's a bonus track on streaming. I mean, it's on streaming naturally, but it was a bonus track on the cassette only version when it was originally released. It's everywhere now.
I think that's one of the better songs.
It's a good fucking song. Yeah. It's a beautiful country western ballad, but his voice. So this is the song where it hit me because I'll explain it first and then you put it on.
Okay.
So he starts out on pitch.
Mm-hmm.
He starts out doing it right. And then as he repeats phrases and verses, you hear him getting more and more off. And there's a thing with pitching is because I've taken like beginner voice classes and you hear the people who have an ear and the people who don't because they're all together. And the people who have an ear, do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, do. Well, I was obviously off pitch, but they can do it.
Yes.
Then you hear the people that don't. They start out okay and then they probably end okay, but the notes in the middle are always off. And that's what it was like almost like PTSD. I was like, oh, he's missing all the ones in between. If he tries to do progression, ascending or descending, the beginning is fine, the end is fine, but in the middle, it's like he's hitting whatever the fuck wherever it lands because he can't tell.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I knew. So good song otherwise, put on that motherfucker.
Got me while I was taking a sip of water. Sorry. This is one of the better songs on the album, though.
I agree.
Touch me through your
This is end credits music.
Yeah. So there it is. He did the vocal line.
Yeah.
And there it is. It's getting a little bit worse. And now it's worse again. It just keeps getting worse and worse. There it is. So it's a fascinating thing where with people who don't have pitch, I assume, like you can practice the fuck out of everything and you can get it kind of okay. But the more you're left without a guide, like maybe an accompanying melody or something to keep you in line, you'll just drift further and further and further from the main melody. Because
It's an actual fear of mine. Like, am I tone deaf? But the fact that I can distinguish it means I'm not. But like,
it's different when it's your own voice.
Yeah, it's man, it really almost ruined the fucking song. I mean, it kind of actually did ruin the song for me. But other than that, I do like a lot of songs in here. Like I like "Stranger in a Town" a lot.
That's
good ass song.
Interesting because there's like an accordion or something similar. It might not be an accordion, but something similar. But it feels buried.
Does it?
So I'm like, what is the point of having? Let me see. I think it's on the track pretty regularly. So let me see if we can. Right there.
It sounds like a synth. Hold on, let me see if there's anything I can find.
Accordion like.
Yeah. Let's see.
But this would have been a better opener, I think.
Oh, for sure. Oh, 100%. Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. Bells, musical tube. I don't know. There's like a bunch of other stuff on here.
Whatever it is, it's kind of cool, but it's this
not highlighted enough.
Yeah, I mean, I could see how it'd be really distracting if it was up front, but
it could also be distracting if it's too low.
Yeah,
yeah.
And then I think an interesting track is the Master Plan. It's an instrumental cover from a guy named Farrah Sanders. Like a blues musician. It's like 2 minutes and it's just so weird. Like, why cover a 2-minute instrumental? I mean, it works. Mm-hmm. It's a good track, but it's just it's interesting.
Yeah, and also they cover "My Man's Gone Now."
I wasn't expecting to like that song. Uh-huh. I think it's really like a fun, because I saw it was from an opera.
Yeah,
and I was like, oh god. But it works.
Dude, imagine Jeffrey Lee Pierce singing opera.
Dude,
that'd be great.
Suck.
Not for me. It's full blues. It's full on blues, which they will do periodically now.
Turn the volume down because I want to cue something up.
Okay.
Bad America.
Yeah. Sounds
like a fucking like gothic Modest Mouse song.
I think it has great guitars in there.
I was going to say,
yeah,
I really, if you want to turn it up, I really like the guitar solo.
Here we go.
Like
it's very mariachi almost. Yeah. That's wacky.
So weird.
Pretty good. It's odd and beautiful at the same time.
Yeah, like I like how it starts off kind of simple and then like you said, like it goes into mariachi.
Yeah.
And it's just like it's all over the place, but not in a bad way.
Yeah, it's very cool.
Yeah.
I also, before we wrap up this album, My Dreams, it's like almost 90s indie rock. I like it a lot.
Okay. Boom.
That's a total indie 90s indie riff to me.
Yeah. I bought a Modest Mouse on that. I could see this.
Yeah,
like,
right. Just even with that drum too, it's like it doesn't feel very 84 to me.
I mean, yeah, from Miami to from here on out, they're an alt rock.
Yeah, like
band more than they're a punk band.
For sure. I mean, I wouldn't even say Miami's really a punk album at all, but like, they never felt like the year that they were in, which is always very cool.
Yeah, whenever you're able to have some sort of timeless quality, I think that's another reason why, it's they have fans and why it's Because even like I'm not huge on this band, but I can see why people like it.
That's another thing too. Like I never until now gave people enough credit to overlook bad vocals. Like I always thought that for a lot of people it's a deal breaker, but for apparently a lot of people as well, it doesn't matter at all. Because this dude's voice is a fucking deal breaker for me. Like I'm not going to go back to these albums because I hate his voice. I will go back to the first one because it's different. He sounds different on it, but it's like it made me kind of like kind of happy. Like, all right, so people can overlook some shit because there's other things to like. It gave me a newfound respect for people's taste, which is a very thing that doesn't happen that often for me. I'm a very cynical boy, but
I will say before we move on, the band broke up in '85. He did some solo albums. One I would like to seek out, but it seems hard to find. I believe he did it with members of Roxy Music and The Cure. So that sounds like it could be a fun time.
Indeed.
Yeah. As the Jeffrey Lee Pierce Quartet.
Right.
It's called Wild Weed.
Wild Weed.
I'm going to track that down somehow.
Right. I believe, none of that. I think he went back to Gun Club because none of those did very well.
Yes.
Yeah. But
and he is Gun Club, so
so it's
like doesn't matter who's in the band.
Really, so they came back with a new lineup. Kid Congo Powers is still there, but he now his girlfriend Romy Mori is on bass, and Nick Sanderson drums, different guy,
and our old friend, Mr. Sorry, I thought I knew his name, and then Robin Guthrie produced this album.
That's right, from Cocteau Twins. Oh boy, lovely. So this is 1987's Mother Juno. Yeah, I didn't realize that until much later after I heard the album. And it makes perfect sense how fucking 80s this album sounds. It sounds like a Cocteau Twins album, the way it's produced anyway.
Well, one song in particular, it to me is...
Well, this
not
guitar,
this one.
No. But like those guitars, that's total Cocteau Twins guitar.
Yeah.
It's like shiny as fuck.
Yeah. I thought because of Robin's involvement that this maybe would have like piqued my interest, but to me it's all a continuation of Miami still. Like
this is very much a similar album to the previous.
Yeah, I get more and more bored with each album, and
I do. I mean, I get how this song isn't awful, but I don't like it. I think it's another bad opener. And I think this is one of the more popular albums, one of the more beloved.
Yes, this is a very beloved album. I kind of understand why. I could see how, if you were a fan of the previous two albums, like why people like this. Because, but to me, like I said, I think they're progressively getting more boring with each album.
I think they're getting more boring, but very, very slightly. Like they're only getting, to me, they're only getting slightly worse because I still like this one a lot. Like I think The Breaking Hands is fucking wonderful. It's one of my favorite songs of theirs, period.
That's the song that goes full Cockatoo Twins. It is like it could have been.
Yeah. It's great.
It's great. It is great. I'm just gonna I'm gonna throw it on.
A little smidgen of that.
It's the only like I thought the whole album was gonna sound like this.
Dude, that's total Treasure era Cocteau Twins.
Yeah. Even though it's very like mimicky, and I mean they're working with Robin.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have cared because it'd be something different at least.
Yeah.
This bravo, Robin.
Yeah. It's fantastic. I love this song. It just gives me little tingly feelings, man. I fucking love it.
Like all Cocteau Twins songs.
Not all. Not all. I have problems with that band. But they did have some stuff that really blew my mind. Yellow Eyes, bluesy, sleazy, solid. Long as fuck, too long for me, really. But I think that's like, if this band is gonna do blues shit, that's kind of how you do it.
That song, I was like, I guess it's cool in like a sexy lounge music sort of way, but still.
Nothing. I would never use the word sexy for Jeffrey Lee Pierce ever in a million years.
No, but you know what I'm talking when I say sexy music.
Yeah.
I really like the drumming on
Araby.
Read my mind.
I fucking knew. I wrote that exactly too. Yeah. Great drums.
We're this becoming the same person.
Oh shit. We're gonna turn into a Cronenberg monster at some point.
And then I'm interested to hear what you think about the vocals on Crab Dance, because those are some weird, raspy. I went there and went, that's an interesting choice.
I like the song. I believe it's a bonus track as well too. I like the song. Put it on because I'm not remembering the vocal, because at a certain point I have to just like, fuck, he's just gonna keep singing like this.
These one, oh wait, it's like skipped over.
There we go. At least he's not singing. That's my feeling about it.
I was like, well, it reminds me of like when Iggy, but bad, when Iggy Pop does the like whispery thing.
I've been a tree.
Yeah, but it's
fucking spoiler alert.
Yeah. It's cool when Iggy does it. Here you're like,
well, Iggy's all crazy.
Yeah.
And not to keep beating a dead horse, but Iggy can hit the right notes. Like, I appreciate anytime Jeffrey tries something different and weird and doesn't try to sing.
Mm-hmm.
He just can't fucking do it. So the opening track, Bill Bailey, is a good example of that fucking. It's like so obnoxious. It's just ear piercing, man. Like, he does a lot of stuff like that. I mean, everywhere, but here as well.
Mm-hmm.
Don't care much for Hearts at all. Don't care for Port of Souls or Thunderhead. It's like, I mean, they're all fine. Like,
they're all just kind of there.
Exactly.
And especially when, like, right in the middle, the Breaking Hands is so
whoa, holy shit,
miles and miles away.
Yeah,
the best song on this album.
Undoubtedly,
it's just,
and it's like the weak songs here, and this goes for many other albums. Like, they're not even. I don't even think they're bad. They're just. It's just they're only bad because they're either one, exacerbated by Jeffrey's vocals, or they're just dwarfed by something else that's just actually unique and really unexpected. But like, even then, like, they're not. This is a good album. It's not going to win over any non-indie rock lover. They're just solid rock songs with a guy who can't sing, with a couple of really interesting stuff, sprinkled in there.
This is probably like the. I mean, I think they plateaued, but it's all fucking downhill after this album.
I don't entirely agree, but I don't entirely disagree.
I'm excited.
Yeah, it's gonna be bad for a minute though. So this is
well, 1 second, because Apple Music's fucking stupid.
It's giving you problems.
Giving me problems.
Right.
Okay, I got it pulled up.
Okay, so I will say I was not expecting this to be this good this far into the career. I was expecting them to be dwindled out a lot earlier.
Here's the thing that I'll get into. They're even at their last album, they really aren't that old of a band.
No.
Like, I think they were around 15 years.
Yeah. I mean, maybe old in spirit and days on the road and drug use, but not old in time. But this is 1990s Pastoral, Hide and Seek.
So, I knew his vocals weren't good.
Yeah.
I think they're horrendous on some of the tracks here.
I'm not ever going to disagree with him being awful at singing. I'm not. But this is actually if you listen to how he's singing here, those vibratos are not bad. Like he's doing things right. He just not even in the ballpark of what I think he thinks he's doing.
To me, we start off with a band drawing from a lot of genres, so it felt like there were a lot of options, like paths to go. But then they decided they were this very specific, like dreamy alt rock.
Yeah.
And now they still want that like dreamy alt rock, but it's like boring soft rock.
It's a lot softer. This whole album is way lighter. Way lighter.
It's like a boring version of The Cult. This is my least favorite album.
Interesting.
I think
why?
It's the most boring to me.
Okay.
Like, there's probably, worse, more awful things after this, but I can talk about those.
Okay.
This album, I'm like, there's so little for me to grab on, especially the middle of the album. It is just fucking like, I cannot tell you the difference if you just threw on like any song in the middle. I couldn't tell you which one was which.
Really?
The only good song I like on here, Flowing.
I think it's real nice and dreamy. Got some great bass lines.
That's the best song on here.
Pretty good
the guitar
song.
playing, fucking great.
So, okay, there's I want to bring up St. John's Divine, because it's like, listen, I hate the Red Hot Chili Peppers. Okay, that is a part of my personality. I'm sorry if you like them.
As part of a lot of people's personalities,
and I stand by that. It's not because I also love Mike Patton. It's just incidental. I swear to God. But that song really reminds me of Red Hot Chili Peppers, and I don't hate it.
Interesting.
So that's how much like, okay, I think like I it's funky and kind of like stupid, and it's got a great fucking solo. I think it has a really underrated solo. I wish I'd put a timestamp, but I didn't. So that's one thing that did stick out, because they don't do funky. They rarely do funky, and I was like, okay, it's not even that bad. It doesn't feel like annoying or obvious the way the Moody Blues did or the Smiths did, like where they throw a funk and it's like, holy shit. But I also don't care. I don't mind Emily's Changed very much. It's one of Jeffrey's worst songs, though.
Yes,
I will give you that.
If you didn't say it, I was like, I got Mike covered on this one.
Yeah.
But that's I think he's gonna say it's awful.
Yeah, it's
horrendous.
Yeah,
horrendous. A song that kind of pisses me off is The Straits of Love and Hate, because I think it's I think it's a good song. The thing that pisses me off about it is I feel like there's a great song in there. It's in there. But somehow this wasn't able to come to the surface.
Song does not work for me. Don't care for that one. I understand what you're saying. I also actually do like it's gonna sound like I'm fucking doubling back, but like Another Country's Young. It's, first of all, it's pretty dark, which I like, but Jeffrey's lack of pitch almost matches the darkness of the song. It's like, it sounds like he's hopeless and kind of lost. It doesn't sound, I don't think he's doing it on purpose. I still think he's trying to sing right.
Yeah.
But it kind of matches the vibe of it.
Stumbled into it.
Exactly. That's what I like about that song. And Eskimo Blue Day. Tell me that's not a fucking Blue Oyster Cult riff.
I'm going to throw it on, because I don't remember.
As soon as the whole thing
sounds like an ISIS song.
That sounds like ISIS for sure. It's after the whole band comes in. Once again, not realizing how long the intro is. Here we go. Keep moving out there.
It was like kind of math rocky for a little bit.
Yeah, it's a pretty solid intro, honestly.
I was just so upset from the rest of the album.
Okay, finally.
Yeah.
It's just
yeah.
ballistic cult.
Yeah.
Fata cowbell, you better believe. It's still, but I don't mind it either. It's still kind of cool in that dad rock sort of way. I mean, not his singing, but like,
I guess.
it's definitely not gonna win anybody over, but I don't mind it at all.
I think they kept some of that energy from the intro. It'd be a better song.
Oh, one thing I have to say. I really almost like Temptation and I. It has such a fucking great closing riff, and then Jeffrey just shits all over it. He just shits all over it. Like, there's so many moments where I'm like, oh man, I would really like this band a lot. If anybody else is singing,
yeah,
fucking anybody.
If he knew his place.
Yeah, pretty much.
But then I guess the bad one exists.
Exactly. Yeah. Like so overall, cleaner, mellower, prettier, softer. I see why the band is respected. I definitely do, but I'll never understand why people aren't more vocal about his voice.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's just, man.
I don't know. It sounds like they were on the documentary.
It was one and done.
Okay.
One and done. Like, people will be like, yeah, he's not the greatest. It's kind of off, but like, and then they go on to gush about him.
Maybe
like,
this felt like it's like a dead horse.
Maybe.
Like everyone knows. What's the point?
I guess. And I guess there's also the admiration for his fortitude. And I keep using that word, but like, his will to keep going on and persevere. But fuck, dude, there's a lot of albums.
Real quick, because I mixed up my notes. You brought up St. John's Divine. That is the only song throughout their whole career where you hear any sort of reggae.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the guitar's like reggae, nothing else on the song.
Yeah.
And it's like,
I'm surprised. Not more.
It never comes up for someone who loved reggae so much.
That's interesting. Maybe he did know his place.
Maybe they beat it out of him.
Maybe they beat it out of him literally in Jamaica. That's possible. It's very possible. But now we're on to 1991's Divinity. This is an interesting record that's very hard to find info about.
Yes. Most of these albums are from here on out.
Yeah. Oh god, he's so bad here.
It's gnarly. What's I gonna say? It sounds like it's weird. I don't like Silver Sun pickups. And this kind of sounds like a Silver Sun pickup guitar riff.
Not heard of.
You would hate them.
Okay.
Trust me.
Okay.
But I think this is better. Like the same way you felt like you're like,
oh god. We literally recoiled.
We stopped. Anyways, the same way you felt about it sounding like a Chili Pepper song, even though you don't. That's how I feel about this song.
Interesting. Okay.
But yeah, you would
I think even if he wasn't shitting all over that I wouldn't care for that song. It seems like it's just another weak opener, really low energy type.
Also, I have to give this worse.
Same. Yeah, worst.
Because it's basically an EP that they tacked live tracks onto to call it an album.
Yeah.
So just because I feel like it cheated.
Yeah.
It could have, if it was an EP, it could have fell in the no harm, no foul.
I agree. Because they tried to make it a full length, this is clearly the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And it really, really reminds me of Goodbye from Cream.
Oh, yeah, where they did the same thing.
Same shit. You just throw live track. Like, why not make it an EP and make it not suck? And even then, I still had to give it worse because the only song on the entire fucking thing that I like, and believe me, I love it, is Black Hole.
Yeah.
It's fucking one of their best songs. It's amazing.
I wrote that down too. In its car crash kind of way, I like Sorrow Knows. And then, I think Black Hole, those are the only two songs.
So Black Hole, you're never going to hear me say this about this band again. Beautiful vocals.
Wow.
Gorgeous. And it's because he's harmonizing what I think with Romy, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because you mostly hear female vocals in that song. Put on that song, it's I don't know if it should be last song or not.
It basically is, right?
Kinda.
Yeah, this just sounds like really good alt rock.
Yeah. This is the only vocal line in their entire discography, in my opinion, that makes the song better.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, it's one of the few songs where the bass is like pushed up a little bit, and it's got a really nice like. It's like it kind of has some of the mentality of metal music, where you can like.
You could bob your head to it.
Yeah,
it's
you can bob the way it like chugs along.
Yeah,
it's no one would call it a metal song, but very like headbanging.
It's insane to me that they never made more songs like that.
Right?
It's just how do you not
like that's a good thing going on for the band at this point in their career too. They should have
honestly been that kind of band with the prominent female vocals harmonizing. Like that would have really
masked a lot of weaknesses.
Oh my god, so many, and it just kind of breaks my heart a little bit.
But the ego won't let you do that.
It will not. And also on the streaming version, St. John's Divine is also on here.
Yeah,
the Chili Pepper song, pretty much. I don't think it was originally on it when it was released. I don't know why it's on streaming. If it was like a reissue or something.
I'm on the rate your music page for this because, like we said, there's not. Yeah, it's originally on here. This is like a remixed version.
Okay, because the one that I looked at on Discogs was omitted, but the live tracks, they're recorded well. I will say that they're recorded fucking very well. They sound really good. And Jeffrey he sounds about as good or bad as the records. It's not like he's doing anything different. He's on key sometimes and then horribly off others, usual.
The version of Yellow Eyes is the live one is one I was like, oh, you got some like Alan Vega going on. It's more obvious on these Alan Vega from Suicide, if you guys are interested. It's more like prominent and weird and obvious live than in studio.
Also, that version of Yellow Eyes is painfully long.
Yes.
Painfully long. It's very jammy. They were one of those bands that just played on stage.
I've kind of avoided. There's a few like painfully long songs, but I wrote it down so much that I'm like, I'm gonna sound like a broken fucking record if I bring it up every time the band indulges on a song that's too long.
And it's especially no coincidence, the bluesier songs. I mean, it's just a thing with blues.
Yeah. We got to jam the blues.
You don't got to do anything. Fuck. So
unless it's that song from earlier, jam the shit out of Preaching the Blues.
Right.
Every other song. Fuck away from that.
So this is not I don't think very controversial to call this sports. Like, it's just so obvious. Like, I mean, it's a weird mishmash. It screams to me lack of budget.
Mm-hmm.
Just the fact that they had to throw extra songs on there for seemingly no reason other than to make it a full length. And it's just a bummer that one song is just so spectacularly better than the rest. That
or if you're me, you think two songs.
But just like moments of brilliance that I wish were fleshed out or experimented and explored further, but weren't. For me, it was not easy to give a worst, but this was like, okay, it's got to be this one. Like, I don't hate anything else they've done, really.
I wanted to give something else worse, but I'm like, this is hardly an album. This is just a mishmash of shit.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. But we're on to the final album, the very tragic end of this band and Jeffrey Lee Pierce. This is 1993's Lucky Jim.
The rain has got to last.
Again, awful opener.
I like this song.
Do you?
And his voice has a hopeless quality to it, which is it's only slightly off key here.
Mm-hmm.
That was pretty bad. Hold on.
The Soviets beside the quay, run to the freighters.
It's almost like a crying woman, like the way he's wailing. Like it's one of those old timey movies. I will admit, like it's a terrible opener in terms of like just energy wise and setting a mood or a tempo for the rest of the album. I just like the song.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Also, at this point, I am
Checked out.
fucking bored and like fucking running up the walls trying to get through it at this point.
I didn't hate this band at all, but I get the fatigue for sure.
That's the thing. I don't hate them. It's just like, and we kind of jumped the gun, but like, I don't understand how they start off with so much personality and end up like this. Like we've done bands who later in their career, when they're older, they just record this super safe, super boring, uninspired shit. And I'm like, I guess you're 60, whatever.
I guess.
Like this one, how old was he? Like he wasn't
Not old. I don't know exactly, but
he's not that old. The band's like 15 years old, which a lot of bands these days, like sometimes they only see success when they're like 15, 20 years.
Yeah.
Like I think like Mastodon's like 20 years old now, and they're like more popular than they've ever been.
Yeah, they're doing well.
Yeah, so it's just like it's very perplexing to me. You get a song like I wanted to give the musically, this is probably the worst.
I disagree.
Yeah,
mostly disagree because I do get like the first half of this being like fuck. I cry to me and ride like I fucking can't
cry to me. I want to super kick someone in the fucking face. It's just, it's just boring blues shit.
Yeah. And because I want to praise the second half of the album, I cannot praise Anger Blues. That's the final track. It's, oh my God. I'm so angry, pardon the pun, that they fucking ended this album with that song instead of Desire. Like, it makes no sense to me.
That pissed me off because the end is a little bit more interesting than the beginning, and I thought I was out of the woods. And not only do you hit me with a fucking jammy blues song, it is done. I'm sure Zeppelin ripped off someone. It's just Since I've Been Loving You.
It's just Since I've Been Loving You. But worse.
Because, you're listening to that and you're thinking about like the Robert Plant vocals, who is a good singer, and you're missing his wails and stuff. And then you just get these Jeffrey Pierce.
Yeah.
So it makes
it's a spit in the face.
It's a 7-layer burrito mess of a song.
Dude, it's a Taco Bell song for sure.
Yeah. Man, that song.
And it's 8 minutes, man. It's like 7:45. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. If I drank regularly, I would have had a few shots after that.
I got plenty of booze right there. Don't worry. Like, and here's the thing. So to what I like about this album, that middle to up to that song, I really dig. Like Idiot Waltz, I think is super pleasant.
That song's funny because it's called Idiot Waltz, but there's no waltz.
It's called Idiot Waltz, and it's in 4/4. Like, okay, buddy, at least make it a waltz. But Daytona Night has great energy, real fun, real cool. I think I want to end the fucking episode on Blue Monsoons, but I'm not going to because it's instrumental. It's instrumental. Very rarely do they do instrumentals, but it's fucking gorgeous. You got to put on a little bit of that. It's just too damn good.
Up above Blue Monsoons.
Yeah.
Sorry, I was getting my notes confused with your.
I think this is a killer riff.
And also, if it's an instrumental, it's
like I was already sold on this riff
I hear this waiting for it to get ruined.
Waiting for him to come in. I was like, even if he comes in, I like this so much, I'll deal with it. But no vocals coming, so it's the perfect song. It's a perfect song. That scale that they're doing, that guitar is doing, is just lovely.
You're right.
It's a great song.
You're right. I got too angry and overlooked that song.
Again, though, like that's in the same album as this bluesy, jammy, annoying horseshit. So that, and I think, like I was saying, Desire should have been the final song. That outro is great. He's wailing over it and he's off key, but it matches enough. It matches enough. It's like it just barely works for me. And like that would have been great. And I thought it was the end of the album. And then I was like, wait, one more song. And then it was 8 minutes of blues. It was just heartbreaking.
I'm gonna do a little U-turn. I think Kamada, Hollywood City.
Yeah.
The rhythm guitars kind of like some light chugging. It's not a real genre, but I would say like soft metal.
Soft metal.
I'm just going to throw on a little bit instead of trying to assign these made up terms.
Right.
But yeah, when the rhythm guitar comes in, it's like, yeah, if you threw like some distortion on that.
I kind of want to say I like this song, but it wears on me after a while.
I think it's one of the like stronger ones.
It's a good hook.
Yeah.
Throw some Vinnie Paul drums behind that.
Get some groove metal. Yeah, this one.
Yeah,
point that out.
Yeah, it's a little chug thing in the back. Another big thing about this album. It is produced so bluesy. It's like those. It's like, hey, I want to sound like Stevie Ray Vaughan. Make this album sound like that.
Don't ever sound like that.
I love Stevie Ray Vaughan.
Yeah,
listen, man, I get it. All right, I don't like blues, but I respect him as a guitar player and as a human being. Actually, he was a really good dude. But that tone is just like, I mean, he's a good guitar player now. Jeffrey Pierce is a good guitar player. He's no fucking solo king, fucking Stevie Ray Vaughan type. And it also, that same production style is transferred to every song. So it's just like a really it's like the glossiest sounding album they've ever done. Really, like I said before, shiny. It's not, I mean, I can't keep asking for more of the early style, the grittiness.
It's not going to happen.
They're not that anymore. It's not that anymore. And it's fine for what it is, but I don't like blues production. And that's what this sounds like.
One last positive thing. I think Up Above the World is the most interesting song on here. It
really
like, twists and turns from like Gun Club doing like their best like Jimi Hendrix impression into like psychedelia and like this charging surf rock stuff. I think it's a real interesting song.
All right.
Yeah, but you kind of shine the light on some other ones for me. So yeah, I guess in hindsight, I'm glad I didn't give it worse.
Yeah,
like
it's got something to offer for sure.
Like it may piss me off, but at least it's not like thrown together garbage.
No.
There's an attempt.
No, there's very much like a lot of thought went into this. It's not the same band. It's still very much Lee Pierce being an egomaniac, but there's stuff that I fucking really, really like, and we'll go back to, especially the ones without that much singing. But that is the end of our journey. Holy God.
Well, I guess let's put a little bow on it.
Yeah.
Final show was played December 95, and then he died of a brain hemorrhage, which I'm assuming was brought on by drug use.
Yeah.
The next year, 96.
He died 96. Okay, so a lot by many accounts, those last shows, it was hard to look at him. Apparently, he was a bloated mess. He was like an airhead. You know the logo for the airhead. He was like that with just balloon face, and it was like, I think several people were saying that in that documentary. Like it was obvious he was gonna die. He was was gonna die. Like that's crazy, man. To burn out that quickly from just going 100 miles per hour for that long.
Yeah.
He did sober up at one point around Mother Juno, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, it was like when he first started dating Romy. That's her name, right? I keep forgetting. He was doing way better. He was sobered up. He was living with her, maybe in England. I forget where.
Mm-hmm.
But then, so he just went back. He reverted, and then that was the end. My God.
Damn. And I see she still does music and does gun club songs. So good for her.
Good for her.
Even songs she wasn't around for, like Sex Beat. So,
but that's like a staple.
Yeah.
But recap.
Best personal favorite, Fire of Love. Least favorite, Pastoral, Hide and Seek. And then worst, Divinity.
For me, damn near the same. A little bit simpler. Fire of Love. Best personal favorite. That's fucking, what a good album. God damn.
I might buy that album.
Yeah, there. Wow. And worst, Divinity. It's just unanimous. So thank you for anybody who's made it to the very end for listening and watching. If you want to support us,
well, I hope on
Andrea. I hope
she made it to the end because this is all.
If she didn't make it to the end, I'll be very upset. I must have fucked up somehow.
This is all for you, Damien.
God damn it. That's pretty good. But yeah, thanks for the suggestion. And if you want to suggest anything else, everyone listening can email everyalbumever@gmail.com. Subscribe, youtube.com/everyalbumever. Apple Podcasts, Spotify, there will be a playlist on the Gun Club in the description of wherever you're listening or watching. You can follow on Spotify directly, or you can go to everyalbumever.com. There's a place associated with every single episode. Also follow me on Instagram at Pope Jesse Ventura and Alex
at Mother Puncture.
Stay up to date with all the artists that we are currently covering. So that about wraps it up. Final song.
You want this?
I don't know, because I honestly I would have picked Cool Drink of Water.
But we've already listened to it.
We already
did.
So I don't know. Maybe you'll agree. I feel like you'll agree. For the love of Ivy.
Oh yeah.
Okay, that's what we're doing. For the love of Ivy.
That's a great pick.
Thanks for listening, everybody. See ya.